Greetings and salutations, everyone. So, I've just returned from my trip from BlizzCon. Okay, it was like a few weeks ago, but it was quite amazing. Stunning event filled with amazing people who I hope to see again for next year. And god damn, 3 expansions? Crazy. Just crazy. But we're not here to talk about all of that. No. I'd be talking your ears off about my time there otherwise. We're here to discuss and analyze the new expansion cinematic of War Within. Not a reaction, by the way. That's already up somewhere. Go watch it if you haven't already. Why did this take so long to make, exactly? I was sick. So, anyways, without further delay, buckle up. It's time we get talking on this glorious and well put together cinematic. And I hope you like parallels because good God, is there a lot of them. We open with a terrifyingly realistic looking Anduin Wrynn. Seriously, they did an amazing job on making him look like he was real here. The once king and ruler of Stormwind is beaten and broken. The blues on him that represent the Alliance are completely gone. His armor itself has faded, another representation of not just himself being wasted away, but also his armor. This is an Anduin after 3 long years have passed since the time that he was nearly lost to the machinations of the jailer, when his very soul was binded with Arthas, through his sword Charlemagne, turned into a Mournblade. That's long since been over, and Anduin needed his own time to settle. Anduin's own fear from his altercations with his tampered sword was that he actually enjoyed the violence that he fell on others. He's unsure if he is himself or if there are remnants of Zovol's influence on his soul. He can't trust what has occurred to him, so he left. He left his kingdom, he left his friends, and has since traveled on his own, not wishing to be found. Even Charlemagne, that once carried a flicker of light for its wielder, is gone. Now he sits in Silithus, where the great sword of the Dark Titan had struck Azeroth at its very heart, which had led to the conflicts that pushed Anduin down his current path. Visions plague his mind, as does a strange voice, which Anduin has trouble figuring out on who. While to us it's quite obviously Azeroth, I can't exactly put blame on Anduin or anyone on questioning the fact that voices are coming from the planet. Doesn't exactly have the best track record when you look back. Just ask Deathwing. A booming light is heard behind Anduin, which he is quickly aware of and simply shakes his head at whatever the figure behind him was to attempt. There walks Thrall, who had somehow arrived in Silithus through teleportation, it would seem. As to who teleported Thrall, my best guess would be that it was Jaina, whom likely asked Thrall to talk to her nephew, who grew worried over his exact state and location. And the world itself was also on the brink, it would seem, with the visions and the voices, following after the birth of Yggdrasil. Now, some seem off-putted by it being Thrall. Obviously not everyone, but some were curious as to why Gen, Velen, Jaina, or anyone else from the Alliance didn't reach out to Anduin, or even Bane from the Horde. Perhaps they did. But I will argue that Thrall was and is the perfect person to reach Anduin, as they are more alike of late. Thrall lost his own version of a light, the Elements, when he had defeated Garrosh and Mak-Garah. He was unsure of the person he was becoming through all the bloodshed and violence that had been placed. He needed time on his own within Nagrand, and wanted no part in the war transpiring on Azeroth. But through Varek-Sarfang, he would rise from his stupor and return to aid the Horde in its darkest hour, and ultimately found himself and regained his connection to the elements by the end of it all, mirroring those exact words on him once.
My old friend, you and I. We don't get to hide.
You're here to tell me we don't get to hide. Is that it?
You needed time. We stayed away. But time by itself heals nothing.
Thrall was the person to reach out to Anduin because he too had suffered from loss after loss. Identity being questioned, and the need to be on your own when everything around you just kept breaking. There could have been others, most certainly, but Thrall was and is the perfect person to do this because of the similarities. Both had championed for peace, and both just lost so much for it. But here they can stand as one, once again, regardless of their pasts. A voice had called out to them both here, and Thrall, rather familiar with prophets and vision, as it had been Medivh long ago who had steered Thrall and the Horde on the right path, and it seems that Thrall is chancing on these visions too. And he knows that the world would stand better if Anduin was in it. Thrall reaches out to place a hand on Anduin, akin to when Varian or Sarfang had when he was close to total destruction by the will of the Jailer. An event that has clearly been too much for Anduin to bear, in spite of it saving him, and in spite of it being almost a warm memory. The event itself was still trying on him, causing him to lash out and break, point his sword at Thrall, and languishing that he's not that person anymore. Another mirror to both Thrall and Sarfang once again.
I'm no one's savior. I will not lead the Horde.
I am not that person anymore! I have no light.
So, you know me. Is that it? What I've seen? What I've done?
Not after what I've seen. Not after what I've done.
A common theme behind all of this seems to be a person reaching out to another, and I love that. But Thrall, being a similar soul, knows Anduin would not harm him. He sees him trembling and assures him that their pasts do not define them, and that he trusts him to the point of placing his chest before Charlemagne.
You are not your past, Anduin. I trust you.
An action that Anduin needed to see and needed to hear, thus putting Anduin solely back on track. He's still a broken man and still needs healing, but this is a good start and a good moment between like-minded friends. And while we're still on that moment, it seems similarities don't seem to end there, as poses of Arthas just can't seem to end too. For Anduin, I truly think the act of pointing the blade towards Thrall is that echo of Arthas left behind, lashing out. While I doubt any of Arthas is left on Anduin, I think it left an imprint on him of sorts. Their merging of souls had an effect on him, and this may be an interesting way to do it or handle it. Suddenly, an ear-stabbing sound falls on them both, and us, mainly me, dear god that hurt. And Azeroth's voice reaches out to both Thrall and Anduin, apparently getting worse and more frantic. Thrall offers his hand to Anduin and lifts him back up on his feet. Reconciling, Anduin accepts to join with Thrall to uncover just what is making the world tremble and scream. A question lingers above them, among other things. Who was and is this voice? Why did it call out to them, and why here?
Who is it, Thrall? Who's calling out to us?
I'm not sure yet. But that sword was aimed at someone.
Whew boy, we're in for it now. Finally, the blade that Sargeras had sunk in Azeroth seems active once more. Or always was active. Regardless, this was an amazing cinematic filled with heart-touching moments between two of my favorite characters. I have wanted Thrall and Anduin to interact more, and finally, we seem to finally be getting what I've wanted with War Within. And Thrall was just a sweet guy in this, absolute dad figure that I think we all need, and I'm happy to see him offer that sort of kindness to Anduin, who's evidently had it rough, just like Thrall has had it rough. There'll be plenty of time to discuss what else awaits, but I'm quite excited and happy with the future of Warcraft, especially back in the hands of Metzen himself, who had apparently wrote this lovely cinematic. Him and his team at Blizzard blew me away, so kudos there, everywhere, just kudos, everything. I hope you guys like this cinematic and this video as much as I did, because I had a great time working on it, and I hope you'll join me in the future to cover even more of Warcraft. Tell me what you thought of the cinematic and other things down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, share, and subscribe. If you want to hear or discuss more things, you can do that on my Discord, where we would love to have you for that sort of thing. You can also support me on my Patreon, like these amazing folks here. Helps me a lot to get these kinds of videos out there. But until next time, my friends,